All right, hello everyone. My name is Eric, and welcome to tonight's information session from Neotech Academy. Sometimes we do these in the daytime. Here we are together in the evening. And before I went on the air officially, I was asking the folks who were logged in to describe their ideal job. I always like doing this. Give me some characteristics of that ideal job. And I got some really good responses, such as working remotely, flexibility, working from anywhere you want to work, working remotely, obviously. Um, Something that's fun to do also. And like I was saying, I think a lot of it boils down to freedom. And that's really what we're going to be talking about tonight. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things, but to me, it boils down to freedom, being able to do what it is that you want to do, being paid what you deserve to be paid. And we have a lot of folks, and I'll tell you more about what we do in just a second. We have a lot of folks coming from all kinds of backgrounds, all types of careers that they're currently engaging in, and then they decide, I want to change. And I want to be able to spend more time with my family, get paid what I deserve, and have flexibility, so forth and so on. So we're going to talk about all of those things tonight. So here's how this is going to play out, just so you know. We're going to give you some information about who Neotech Academy is. We'll also give you some information about the IT industry and what really is, in my opinion, our life-changing boot camp. I really do believe it's life-changing. You're going to hear from one of our alumni tonight. He will be here to tell you about his experience. And he was just like you. He was in the same situation as you. He was watching a webinar one night and he was looking for a change and checked us out and decided to take our boot camp. And now his life has been changed. But you get to hear from him a little bit later. You'll also be able to ask him some questions. But go ahead and write down this date. You see where it says September 15th on your screen? Write that down because that is going to be the start of our next boot camp. And I'll tell you about what a boot camp is and what it entails, in just a few minutes. Don't worry, you're not making any type of financial commitment tonight necessarily. However, we're giving you some information. Okay, so this is an information session, but just so you know, just to set your expectations, we do have a special offer for you folks attending tonight because if I look over here to my calendar, look at this. We've got September 15th. That's coming up in less than 1 week. Less than 1 week. So we have a special offer on the tuition for those of you who are tuning in with us tonight. So we'll talk about the tuition. We'll go through the money back guarantee, all of that coming up. All right. But here's one thing I want you to know right off the bat. Some of the fastest growing occupations are in the IT industry. Now, if you think about this, it seems like almost everything is already tech related as it is. Imagine where it's going to be 5 years from now or 10 years from now. There are IT jobs in all major cities. You can check this out. I mean, don't do it now, but when we're done, you can simply go to Indeed.com or go to LinkedIn, go to Glassdoor, wherever it is that you look for employment, you'll be able to see this for yourself. Many of our students have received a remote job offer. Now, remote job offers are not a guarantee. We're not going to guarantee that, but I will say this, there are more remote jobs available today than at any point in our history. And if you think about this, remember the pandemic? How could you forget that, right? When the pandemic happened, when it started, and then throughout the pandemic, when parts of the world were shut down, IT really thrived because there were already so many remote jobs available. So really, COVID just increased those opportunities. Now, a few things I want to mention here at the beginning as well is, and we'll probably say this a few times tonight, don't worry about what your background is. So it doesn't matter what your current career is. I mean, I don't care if you're a teacher. I'm seeing a lot of teachers making the transition to IT, I've noticed. I don't care if you're in the healthcare industry, another career that people are in, that they're making a transition into the IT industry because of all the benefits that are that entailed in the IT industry. So whether you're, again, education, if you're in healthcare, I don't care if you're parking cars, if you're a bartender, none of that matters. Here's the thing, employers care about, can you do the job? Don't worry about if you don't have a 4-year degree. I get that question a lot. What if I have a 4-year degree, but it's not in IT? That doesn't matter. Again, companies care about, can you do the job? Some of you might say, well, I can't do the job because I don't know what the job is right now. Well, we're going to train you to do this, and we're going to give you experience on actual projects, which you can put on your resume. We will also give you help with your resume. We'll help you with career placement. We don't leave any stone unturned. Also, don't worry about your age. Another big question I get. Well, what if I'm in my 40s, my 50s, my 60s, and I'm starting over? That's okay. Again, what matters is, can you do the job that we're going to train you to do? So also, if English is your second language, should you be able to communicate? Yes, of course. But do you have to be, you know, absolutely proficient? Well, not really. I wouldn't say that. So don't worry if English is your second language. Background, education, age, the IT industry, there will be a place for you. It's just the point that I'm making. Now, a lot of people, when they do start out in the IT industry, they gravitate to what you're seeing on the screen where it says software testing. Now, what exactly is a software tester? So let me ask this question. This is a rhetorical question, so you don't have to type in the chat the answer because I already know the answer. But have any of you ever used an application? Have you ever used Uber or Lyft? TikTok, Facebook, Instagram? You get the idea. Have you ever used one of those? Everybody has, all around the world, right? So here's my point. You know what a good application looks like. You use it and it works. You go to Amazon, on your phone, and you try to buy something and it shows up in your house the next day, or sometimes even the same day. So you know what you know how to use technology in that sense because you've done it. So what we're going to do is couple with what you bring to the table, having already used technology, and we're going to give you some technical knowledge and some hands-on expertise on top of that. Put it all together, and you learn with our help how to do software testing. Now, if you think about this, software testing is vitally important to a company. Why is that? Because they don't want to introduce a product, an application that is flawed. Wouldn't that make sense? Because think of all the money it would cost them to fix it. So what they do is this: they hire people just like you to be software testers to test out the application before it's introduced to the public. So it could be something as simple as you noticing, based on the list of requirements, as they're called, which you'll be given, you might notice that the font isn't correct, that the developer didn't do the font correctly. Maybe the color scheme is off. Maybe when you try to use the application, it crashes every time. Well, you simply make a note of that, let the software developer know. They actually will take care of it. You don't have to fix it. You're simply looking for the flaw. You're looking for the bug, the problem, in other words, okay? So from a 30,000-foot view, that's what a software tester does. You're just testing it out before the public gets to it. Now, I'm going to look over here to the chat for a second. Does that make sense? Just from a big picture, again, a 30,000-foot view, does that make sense what a software tester would do? You're trying to find the problems before the public would find it. I'll just wait for a response in the chat before I move on. Does that make sense to you guys? Private message to me, someone said yes. And there we have yes to everybody. Very good, very good. Okay, and look at the starting salaries here, guys. Now, can I guarantee $90,000 a year every single time? I can't guarantee you that, but it depends on where you live. But you're going to talk to one. You're going to hear from one of our alumni in just a little bit, and he's going to tell you about his situation. It is definitely feasible. Let's just put it that way. Now, think about this for a second. People go to college for nothing wrong with going to college, but they go to college for 4 years. Sometimes they get a graduate degree on top of that, with no guarantee that they're going to have a job in that field afterwards. And the university is not required to help them find a job. So we're going to talk about how this whole thing will last 6 months. And within 6 months, you'll learn more in 6 months than it takes most people years to learn on the job. And that's why we call it a boot camp. All right. So we've created this boot camp. And by the way, you'll get to meet one of our founders, who's also one of our lead instructors, who will put the whole boot camp together. You're learning from people who are in the industry, who are actually doing this all the time. Now, if you have any military experience, you know that in boot camp, boot camp is relatively short. It could be like 2 months, but you learn a lot of information in a very short amount of time. So that when the bullets are flying, you know exactly what to do. And that's similar philosophy here, because again, we're going to teach you everything you need to know in 6 months so you can begin that career afterwards. Now, as we told you earlier, you don't have to be a college graduate. Don't worry about that. It's not a requirement in most cases. Employers simply want to know, can you do the job? Now, we're going to train you in this skill set and again, provide you with hands-on experience. Now, the way I like to, let me expand on this. It's called experiential education or experiential training. Some of you probably are familiar with this. It's not just going through a PowerPoint presentation and saying, okay, well, here we're going to learn about how to become a software tester, or we're going to learn how to become a software development engineer and test. We're going to educate you. We're going to get you involved as well. There's going to be homework. But the way you really learn is not just by hearing and that's it, but it's also by what? By doing it. That's how you really learn. So experiential education, we're big believers in that. So it's hands-on, and that's really how you learn. So we give you experience on actual projects. So think about this for a second. Right now, you don't know anything. No offense. That's probably why you're tuned into this. You don't have all that knowledge. So we're going to teach you in a very short amount of time how to do the things that someone would be doing that it would take, as I said, many years of on-the-job training. So you'll be acquiring significant technical knowledge in programming, coding language, and tools. And keep in mind that we are a career-focused boot camp. So if you're not looking to make a change and take on a career in IT, then this probably isn't for you. But if you're looking to make a change, get the freedom that you're looking for, get paid the money that you're looking for, then I would just simply say you're in the right place. Course Report is very well respected. So they rated our quality assurance, that's what QA means, testing bootcamp in 2023 as the best QA testing bootcamp. We are very proud of that. So again, we have a 6-month accelerated bootcamp. It begins September 15. September 15, coming up here less than a week, guys. You get hands-on experience on real projects, and you see what you're looking at there salary-wise. Now, when you're in, now I should say this. You take the boot camp, right? And let's say you decide to become a software tester upon graduation. Let's just say that's the direction that you go, because it's an easier career path to get into while also getting higher than average pay. Well, because you'll be going through the boot camp and now you'll be working as a software tester potentially, you'll be exposed to a broad perspective of tools and languages throughout our program. So after you complete the boot camp and expanding your horizons, you might choose to follow a career in a similar path in IT, such as one of these. Now, when you start looking at these names, they might look rather complicated. Now, cybersecurity analyst, you probably have an idea of what that is. Okay, but Scrum Master, some of you are looking at that and probably thinking, what in the world is a Scrum Master? What in the world is an API tester? But what seems foreign to you now will become second nature to you later. I always say this, it's just like when it comes to any type of anything that you learn. Like remember back in school, if you took calculus, I always like to say, it may have been difficult at first, maybe the first semester, but by the second semester, how did you feel about what you learned in the first semester? You probably thought, it was hard, but I've done it since then. I've got it down now. So what seems complicated, what seems complex, we drill into you and we have you actually do it, and that's really how you learn. So don't get overwhelmed by any of the things that we talk about tonight. You have to start somewhere. And what seems overwhelming at first, just like anything else, it winds up being second nature to you eventually. So what I want to do now is bring on one of our founders and lead instructor. His name is Elian. Elian is going to tell you more about himself, and he's going to tell you about our program, our boot camp, as well as introduce one of our alumni and interview him for you, so you'll be able to ask questions of him as well. So, Elian, you want to go ahead and take it away?
Yeah, thank you, Eric. So let me share my screen. Okay, so yeah, my name is Elion Limanai, and I'm the lead instructor and one of the co-founders of Neotech Academy. So we have created a program in such a way that the students, they can learn from nothing. They can come with no background, and then after 6 months, they're able to have those skills that would make it possible for them to be able to apply for the jobs, go to the interviews, and then be able to land the job. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the flow of the bootcamp, the tools that we teach, and of course, I'm going to invite one of our alumni so that you can ask your questions to him. So because he was in your shoes a year ago and now he's working as a software tester. Okay. So in our bootcamp, so what do we teach? So we teach about manual testing. What is manual testing? Manual testing is doing these tests manually, right? Using your keyboard and mouse. So clicking here, clicking there, trying to take screenshot and to report if there is any problem with the software. So as just to make sure that we're on the same page, what is the job of a software tester? A job of the software tester is to make sure that the quality, right, or the product of your company, the software that is created by your company works in a way that is expected. So works as expected. And if there's something goes wrong, they need to catch it and to report it so that the developers can fix it before the update goes to the customers and before the customer sees something wrong, right? So you can do those things manually, and of course, even by just learning manual testing, you can work as a manual tester in the field. But of course, the salaries are lower, right? They are around 60 to 70,000 a year, and also the problem is that there may be not many job openings as manual testers. So more and more now, companies are switching to automation testers. So that's why, for that reason, we teach how to do these things with a script, with your code. So we teach Java programming language. Maybe you've heard about Java programming language, maybe not. So that's one of the strongest programming languages. By the way, guys, if you go to a company and if they're using different tools, still is not a problem. The company will hire you as long as you have those skills, as long as you know how to do the testing and how to report and everything. So we teach Java programming language, but if you go to the companies and if they're using other tools, still they can hire you. And then after you're done with that part, which is the base of the bootcamp, let's say, then we teach about automation testing tools. So we teach about TestNG and Cucumber and Selenium. And then, of course, right, we're going very fast to these things because it's too early. But of course, right, we're going to teach them step by step. Every class, we're going to teach something, repeat it next class, learn something new. And for at the end of the 6 months, you're going to be able to, as I said, to apply for jobs and to be able to do the job there. So after you're done with this part here, guys, right, these three parts, you can work as front-end tester, right? So what is a front-end tester? Is a person who is making sure that the application, whatever the users see, it's working fine, right? But of course, we don't stop there because we want our students to be exposed to even more job openings, right? So that's why we also teach database and API testing. So what is database? What is API? Of course, as I said, these are a lot of technical terms, but I just want you to have an idea so that whenever you apply, right, whenever you start this bootcamp, you know what you're going to learn. And if you want, you can also go and ask a friend of yours, maybe that is in the field, or do some research and see if these tools that we teach are enough or not. So database and API is the back part, the part that the users don't see. So also, of course, right, let's say if you're using Bank of America or Chase Bank or any application like a healthcare application that is used as a software, all these data that are there are actually stored somewhere, which is called the database. So the job of the backend tester is to make sure the back part, right, the data are stored correctly in the database. So by learning front-end testing and by learning back-end testing, you know both those parts, and you're called also full stack testers. So you can apply for jobs as manual testers, as front-end testers, and back-end testers, and also as full stack tester, so that you have a lot of job openings that you can apply. So these are the technical, right? These are the technical tools that we teach during the bootcamp. But of course, also we teach something we call soft skills. So how to communicate with a team. What are the meetings that are done in the field? When you go to the interviews, what are the questions that are asked in the interviews? Those kind of things that are not technical, right? Are not coding, but those are the things that you need so that you can, right? So can you polish your resume so that you can make sure that you are ready for the market. So that part, right, we call it soft skills classes. And of course, we have once a week the soft skill classes. And so that we prepare you for the interviews and you prepare you for the field. And also, right, towards the end, also we teach how to build the resume, how to apply for the jobs, where to apply for the jobs and stuff like that, so that you're going to be able to go to the interviews. Okay. And even after we're done with the bootcamp, guys, so the bootcamp is 6 months, and Eric gave you all those information. But even after the bootcamp is over, guys, we don't let you go. We are with you until you find the job. So always we push you to apply. Always we ask you, we help you until you find the job. And for that part, we have our career placement team, which will help you with job applications and let's say questions that comes in the interview and stuff like that. So these are some of the tools that we teach, guys. And of course, there are a lot of tools here, but I don't want you to get scared. So Java, I mentioned earlier, is one of the strongest, right, part of the bootcamp. So the first 3 months, you're going to learn about Java. I know that first couple of weeks, the students are a little bit scared and confused, let's say, right, because they're learning something new. But after 1 week or two, they get used to it. They're learning something new, and then they are like feeling, right, that they're learning. So after you learn about Java, we're going to learn about Selenium. So Selenium is a tool which allows you to let's say, interact with the browser. So you can open the browser by using Selenium, and then you can, I don't know, send some commands to the browser so that you are able to log in and to do those things with your code without touching your keyboard and your mouse. So, and then we're going to teach about, right, we're going to teach about TestNG and Cucumber, which are the front-end testing tools. And those are the tools that, right, allow you to create the reports and to document them and to report it to the developers to make sure that they fix the problem that is with the software. Also, right here, as I said, right, we have MySQL, which is a database tool, Postman and Rest Assured, which are API tools. And we're going to learn about Maven and Git. So GitHub is one of the tools that is used in the field to collaborate with other team members. Let's say you're doing the same project with other people and you want to make sure that you're doing your own part and you are able to, right, you are able to collaborate with the others. So that is about Git. Jira software is also project management. So all these tools, guys, we're going to spend hours and hours, weeks learning these tools so that you're ready at the end of the bootcamp. Okay. So I'm going to give a quick recap of whatever, right, we're using. So we're going to have classes, and I'm going to come to the schedule in the next slide. So we have classes every week. And then after each class, we give homework, we give tasks, and also, right, during the bootcamp, we give a couple of big projects, hands-on, real experience projects, so that you are feeling, right, whatever is done in the actual work environment. And also how to, as I said, to use the Git tool, so to collaborate with other team members, because we want, right, because in this field, people are working together, are working as a team, everybody's taking their part, and everybody's doing their part in a way that still they're collaborating with other people, okay? And so during this bootcamp, we teach the latest, the modern tools, technologies, strategies that are used in this field. All the classes, guys, are online. So as of right now, we have this Zoom session. So that's how our classes will be. And when the class is over, we share the recordings with you, so that if you are missing a class, if you missed a class, or if you want to rewatch the class, everything will be recorded and everything will be shared with you. So the same thing also for this Zoom session, guys, for this webinar. When we're done with the webinar today, we're going to record it and we're going to share the recording with you, so that you can watch it later, and maybe you can share with your friends that are interested. So you can watch the classes online from anywhere in the world, but everything will be recorded and everything will be shared with you after the class. So we have our mentorship program. So let's say after 3 months, when our students learn something, then we create groups. Every group of students, every 10 students, they have a mentor. The mentor is a person who has worked in the field for like 5 years. They are experienced software testers. They teach to our students in small groups what is testing, how it is done in their company, right? They give them real examples from their real life so that the students, they ask their questions in small group settings to their mentors. These are outside of the classes, beside the normal schedule that we have during the class. And also we prepare the students for the job market, right? As I said, like since from the first week, we start teaching them what are the meetings that are done, how they need to talk, what they need to say, right? And also we prepare them for the interviews. At the end of the bootcamp, guys, we get each of our students one by one. We do a mock interview. We get, let's say, we have here a lot of students. So we have, for example, Tiffany, we have Amanda, we have Ahmed here, right? So one of our instructors will give a, right, will give a, we'll do a mock interview to the student to make sure that they have learned everything. If they have learned Java, Selenium, TestNG, Cucumber, Git, right, all these tools, then they're ready for the market. They're ready to start applying for the job. So they prepare the resume and start applying for the job. If they're not there yet, then we give some feedback. We say, you know what, you're good in Java, but you have to work a little bit on your backend skills, on your database skills, and then come again. And then we do another interview until they're ready, to make sure that they're really prepared for the market so they don't go there and mess up over there. Okay. And of course, we have a lot of alumni which are working in the field right now, our recruiters that we work with them. So we try to expose you to as many jobs as possible so that you're going to go to the interviews. You're going to, at the beginning, I know that everybody, right, it's difficult for the first couple of interviews, but with time you practice, and then after that you're ready, right? You are able to answer the questions as an experienced tester. And even, as I said, even after the boot camp, while they're in the market, still our job placement team will help the students while they're applying for the jobs. Even when they get offers, they get sometimes multiple offers. We teach them which one is better, how to communicate with them to make sure that they're maximizing their compensation in there. So this is the schedule, guys, right? If you are thinking of doing the boot camp, please take screenshot of these hours. So every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days a week, guys, during the weekdays from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So 3 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on Wednesday, 3 hours on Thursday. It's 9 hours during the weeks. So this is the schedule during the weeks. By the way, guys, all the times here are in Eastern time, New York, New Jersey time. If you are in a different time zone, make sure to do a calculation because the class will be in a different time. So if you are in, let's say in California, then the time will be between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. right during the weekdays. And then during the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday. So it's 8 hours during the weekend and 9 hours during the week. This is the schedule of our classes, okay? And as I said, on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we do the technical classes. On Sunday, we review the whole week to make sure that whatever was explained every time, we review them to make sure that, right, to make sure that you are learning, and we don't teach anything new during Sunday. We just review whatever was done. On Wednesdays, it's our soft skill classes. The classes which are not technical, are not, let's say, coding classes, but these are classes which more we talk about the terminology that is used, like the meetings and everything that is in the field, okay? So this is the schedule, guys. And also besides this one, we give homeworks. After each class, we give homework. The homework sometimes takes 20 minutes, sometimes takes 30 minutes. Some students, they spend 1 hour with the homework. So you will make sure that you will do the homework before the next class so that you learn. If you want to rewatch the class, as I said, all the class will be recorded. They'll be there for you and you'll be able to watch them anytime. And if you're not able to join any of these classes, guys, because maybe you're working, some emergency or something, the recording will be there, but make sure that you watch that class before the next one because the knowledge will be built on top of the previous class. So if you take the bootcamp seriously, guys, if you commit your time, if you, let's say, do the homework, do the project and everything, at the end of the bootcamp, guys, you're going to be ready. You're going to be there at the level that you're going to be able to apply for jobs. You're going to go to the interviews and hopefully you're going to ace those interviews and you're going to be able to land the job. And that's what a lot of our alumni have done. And as of right now, guys, I'm going to invite one of our students, which is a success story. So let me invite Emre as a panelist. So before you share your video, just 1 second, Emre, can you please accept, and before you share the video, just wait for a second. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so you can share your video. And by the way, Emre, can you share your video?
Can you hear me, Alumni?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Also,
Here
I
I
can
am.
hear you now.
It has been a
Okay.
while. It's good to see you, Alumni.
Yeah, hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you?
Okay, I'm doing great, and I'm happy to see you here.
Me too, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So for the people that are joining here, and as I said, you were maybe in their shoes like a year ago. So if you can explain about your experience, so during the boot camp, after the boot camp, when you're applying for jobs, and now that you're working as a software tester, and then after you're done with explaining your experience, I'm gonna get your questions. Please, guys, ask your question in the chat section in the Zoom, and I'm gonna direct those questions to Emre.
Okay. First of all, as Alyon said, it's a very detailed and well-designed boot camp, and they covered many topics as it is needed and required to find a job in today's IT market in United States. That is why this is a perfect content, honestly speaking. For me, I satisfied a lot. But on the other hand, I haven't missed any of the classes, and I haven't missed any of the homeworks. I did all of them, and I joined all the classes. That is why the one I just want to say that commitment is quite important during this period. This is a 6 months class, and they're covering everything, very detailed, and sometimes it is hard to understand some of the topics, but with the infrastructure of Neotech, you can rewatch all the videos, and you can reach all the documentations, whatever you want, so that some things stays on your side, and then you should be persistent on the doing these kinds of tasks. That is why they are guiding you, they are giving you a lot of information during this period, and they are covering all the required topics, but you should have a commitment to this bootcamp. That is why uh, I highly recommend you join all the classes, do all the homeworks, and do your extras, because they are providing lots of extra tools, and then you can improve yourself. So that I know a couple of friends, many friends who doesn't have any IT background, and they progress a lot. They did a lot of things, and then they became a software tester after they complete this process. And as Elion said, that the software skills, which is quite important, honestly speaking, this is the vision and understanding of the business of software testing, and then you can gain a lot of things in this area as well, besides the technical skills. So that after persisting on doing such kind of things, at the end of the day, you're applying for jobs, and then in a very short period of time, you can land a job quite easily. But persistency, commitment, and consistency, those are the three important things. Never give up.
Thank you, Emre, for your suggestions. So now I'm going to ask some of the questions that they're asking to make sure that we interact with them. So one of the things is, by the way, did you have any background before the bootcamp, any IT background? So by the way, guys, every alumni that we invite, because every time we do an info session, we invite somebody. Some of them they have experience, some of them not. Some of them like they're different. Everybody has their different experience. So what about you, Emre?
Yeah, I do have an experience quite much in the telecommunication and IT area. Yes.
Okay, so you had an experience probably back in your country, and
Yes.
okay, perfect. What about coding? Did you have any coding experience before the bootcamp?
I do have a coding experience as well, algorithmic thinking, and then since I'm an electronic and communication engineer, I do have coding experience as well.
Okay, perfect. What about now? The question is, what if they don't have any experience? Do you think they can do it? And what do you think? What did you see with the other friends of yours? Because
Yeah,
you're maybe one of the unique students that already have experience before the bootcamp.
could be, but honest speaking, I witnessed many of the guys. I personally witnessed many of the guys who hasn't who hasn't an experience, uh, who hasn't a relationship even with a computer. They improved a lot. They become a very good software coder. No, they improved a lot. They exceed their limits, and they became a software coder. That is why I'm saying that this is a well-designed boot camp. All the topics selected very professionally. That is why I saw many friends who hasn't got a experience neither in the coding nor in the IT or telecommunication domain.
Okay, perfect. So by the way, so the company that you're working in, which domain is that company right now? The one that you're working as a tester?
IT.
So the company is no, I mean saying like which domain, maybe healthcare, maybe I don't know, insurance or education or
Oil and gas.
gas. Okay, good. So and then by the way, another thing is and of course, as I said, like different people, they have different experience. So as Emre, he said that he had experience before the boot camp. So one of the questions here is that he doesn't have a diploma, right? A bachelor degree from I mean, didn't have a bachelor degree. So can he find the job in the market? So I can tell you this before Emre gives his opinion. So most of the companies, sometimes they want you to have a bachelor degree, sometimes to have a master's degree, sometimes they want you to have a computer science degree. Some of the companies, they don't care about degree as long as you have the skills, as long as you can do those things. So what is your take on it, Emre?
Exactly. You said, Elion, I do have a BS degree, but I saw many job postings in the job market, which doesn't require BS or computer science or any other degrees. They are mainly focusing on that you have a capability, you are able to do the testing, software testing methodology and tasks. That is much more important than what you have graduated from.
So another one is there are people who they don't are there. I mean, they of course they speak English and they can communicate, but they don't have a perfect English. What about them? Do you think that they can find a job in the market if their English is not like at that
They
level?
they can find a job, but it is good to improve the English at least on a communication level in the interviews because they are asking questions. They want you to tell yourself uh, about yourself, about the thing that you are doing, about your project. That is why it is needed to tell about those topics and understand what they are asking to you.
Definitely to answer because you have to communicate. So, a question coming from Amanda here is: were you working while you were taking the boot camp? Were you having a
Yeah,
job
I was working. Yes, I was working. Yes.
and then you had a full-time job or part-time?
Yeah, I had a full-time job there.
So you were able to manage to do to do your job and do the
Exactly.
boot camp.
Exactly, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
And then another question from Alina is, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your names, guys. I'm really sorry. So, how long did it take for you after you were done with the boot camp? How long did it take for you to find a job?
3.5 months.
3.5 months. So the boot camp was done, I think, in around November,
Few,
December.
yeah, it was my mock-up interview was 5th of January,
Hmm.
and my CV has been approved on 1 week after that, 12th of January, and I've signed my contract as on the mid of April.
Mid of April. So okay, so you had the mock interview one day before January 6th. Okay, it was
Exactly,
by
exactly.
Monday. Okay, just kidding. So you and then what about how many jobs did you apply during that
One
process?
1,250 around.
Wow, you're like you counted the jobs. That's good. So we always push people
Because
to apply.
I had an Excel. You know that Neotech
Definitely.
supplied me an Excel job tracking, and I
Yeah,
always process this Excel. That's why I know I know what time I applied, in which state it moved to, and then so many information. I process
definitely.
all those information.
How many interviews did you have during this process with different
20,
companies?
20, around 20.
20 interviews. Okay, and then
Yes.
how many did you get only one offer or multiple offers at the
No,
end?
three, two.
You got two offers,
Yeah, I got
and
two
then
offers.
were they
Then
full
after
time?
I got some more, but I didn't take them into
So at the beginning you
consideration.
got two, and then you
Yeah,
were they full time or contract jobs?
those are full-time jobs.
Both of them were full time.
Both of them are full-time jobs.
Okay, and then the question that is always asked: was your salary near to the 6 digit thing that we promised? That's what we say.
Yes.
Both of them, or one of them was lower, one of them higher.
Yeah, one of them is higher.
Okay, and also now since you have a full time, probably also you have all the benefits, right? The maybe the vacation days and
Exactly.
health benefits and everything.
Yeah, PTOs and health insurance. Uh, what about the yeah, PTOs, health insurance. Uh, those are the things. Not so much, honestly speaking. Those are the common ones, common
Okay,
perks.
perfect. And then on a scale, Bor is asking on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult was the classes? I mean, of course, this is your perspective, your experience.
Okay, okay. Uh, the, as an average, we can say that six, but some of them, honestly speaking, nine, 8, 9.
Okay, so for you, which one were more difficult, the technical classes or the soft skill classes for yourself?
Technical class, because I had an experience on the soft skill side. That was my advantage. On the technical side, I faced with some problems. I tried, uh, and then it
It happened.
I done. Yes,
So the thing is, like, that's the most important, like to try until you find the job, because at the end of the day you just need one offer. Like you might maybe you got multiple, but you need only one offer and you need only one job. So you apply it 1,000, but only one is enough for you to start working.
exactly.
And then in your company, right, that you are right now, are you working remotely or on site or hybrid?
Hybrid,
Hybrid, so you
hybrid.
go there
Yeah,
a couple of days a week.
exactly. Two
Okay,
days a
perfect.
week, 2 days, 3 days remotely, 2 days on
Perfect.
site.
And then what about the schedule? Is it a 8 to 5, 9 to 5 schedule, like 40
It
hours?
depends. It depends on the company. Some companies are putting some discrete times, fixed times. You should come this time, and then you should leave the job at this time. But my company is giving you flexibility, whichever you are coming, and then putting an 8 hours, 30 minutes, and then you are leaving at that time. But
Okay.
it differs from company to company.
Okay, so Satyan is asking, I don't have any software coding knowledge. How much work will I have to put maybe outside of the classes? Of course, you have to join the classes, which are 17 hours a week, but outside of the classes, how much hours do you suggest?
Honestly speaking, there are some capable. I met with very capable friends in Neotech bootcamp. Even they do not have any coding knowledge. They catch up the classes very easily. And by the way, they discovered themselves as well, because I talk with them many times. Some of them are saying to me that they put so much effort. For me, honestly speaking, minimum one hour a day I spent 1 hour a day, except for the
Awesome.
bootcamp hours.
Yeah. So yeah, and as I said, like always, it depends. So it depends, guys. I can tell you this one. It depends on the age. It depends on your English level. It depends on your previous knowledge. But generally, right, you have to spend an extra 5 to 10 hours a week outside of the classes. But of course, we have had students. I remember I invited another alumni a month ago, and he said I spent 8 hours a day. I'm like, I mean, of course, if you have the time, it will be even easier at the end and you find a job. And he was able to find a job in 2 or 3 weeks after the boot camp. And also this finding a job also depends on the market. Sometimes the market might be a little bit slow, so it will may take a little bit more time. And sometimes the market is better and it will take, let's say, less time for you to find a job. So definitely he said that he had a bachelor degree in IT and experience. So that's why, right? That's why maybe it was easier for him. As I said, it depends. Do you have somebody with no diploma? Generally, most of our students, they have a bachelor degree. Generally, they have a bachelor degree in other fields, not in IT. I can say 98% of the students, they don't have anything to do with IT. But they have a bachelor degree in, let's say, education, healthcare, or other industries. Students with no diploma, I can find an example, but of course, as I said, depending on the company, and if you say that you have a diploma, then you have to prove it, right? You have to prove it after the
Exactly.
company gives you an offer. If you don't say you have a diploma, then you don't have to prove anything. As long as they hire you, you should be okay. So yes, we have those kind of cases, but most of the times our students have a degree in other fields other than IT. Any other questions that I don't see here? So that we can ask to Emre, he can share his experience. And of course, as we always say, these things depend. So you can watch other videos of ours, guys. And if you go to our YouTube channel, and you'll see that we have different students. Most of them, they don't have any background, and some of them, they spend less time, some of them more time. So depending on the person, depending on, for example, I remember a couple of years ago, there was a student which was a friend of mine, and she was a mom, and also her son was joining the boot camp, and her son was like 20 years old, and the mom was 45 years old, and she needs to listen to the things 2 times to understand, and her son just listens to it 1 time and he understands very easy because he's younger and his brain is open to new things. But of course, generally people which are older, they are more responsible, they are generally like more on top of it, and young students, they take it easy, and at the end sometimes they're not able to find a job. So did you move to another state for your actual job, or
no, I found the job in my own state.
So what about the other job that you said you got an offer? Was it in your state or in another state?
Yeah, it was in my state as well.
Okay, that was in your state too. How difficult is for students who have no degree at all? So I answered, if they don't have no degree at all, it is a little bit more difficult. So I want to be upfront with you guys. If you have a degree in other let's say fields, there shouldn't be a problem, because in the interviews they don't care about your degree. Most of the companies that don't even care about your degree at all. But if you have a degree, it will be easier for you. That's what I can say in general. And then Malik is asking, what are the states that have better job opportunity related to the field? I mean, in your experience?
In my experience, if you are talking about Texas, Austin and Dallas, and in Georgia, Atlanta, in North Carolina, Raleigh. Those are the states that I focus on.
Yeah, and also generally New York and Washington, D.C. area.
Exactly. I do not have any experience on those states, but those are the things I experienced.
Also, you're more on the south. That's where you
Exactly.
applied, but that's you
Exactly.
applied more.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Any other questions? And I was going to ask you for let's a final suggestion, but you gave all the suggestions at the beginning. So you said that take the bootcamp seriously, don't miss any of the classes. Whatever I said at the beginning, right? Whatever we said at the beginning of the bootcamp, that's what you did, and that's why you were able to succeed. And by the way, guys, so that is, I mean, just to make sure that we are on the same page. After the bootcamp is over, guys, don't make your plans that the next day you're going to be working. There is no such a thing that the bootcamp is over and you start working. No, you will apply for jobs for 1-2 months, depending on your preparation, depending on your luck, depending on the time of the market. It can take 2 months, it can take 3 months, sometimes it also can take even more. But if you persistently continue applying and applying until you find the job, at the end you're going to be able to find the job. So that is just to make sure that we're not lying to everybody. We're not promising that you're going to start working the next day that the bootcamp is over. Anything that you want to add, Emre?
Yeah, that's all from my side. You summarized very good. And then I'm wishing you a great success to all of the people who will join to this boot camp.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining.
You're
Emre.
welcome. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Nice to see you again.
And it
Have
was
a
nice
nice
to see
day
you
to you all.
too. Nice to see you too. Okay, have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So we're going to continue with the next part. We're going to continue with the next part of the bootcamp, guys. Like after we invited Emre, and we're going to talk about pricing. We're going to talk about everything, right, that you need to know about this bootcamp. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, right, so how are you going to learn during the bootcamp? So we have live classes, we have projects, individual and group projects. We have for students that fall behind, that sometimes they have some technical problems. We have office hours. So our students, these are not mandatory classes, but our teachers, our instructors, they have extra hours that try to help the students. We give homework and tasks every class. We give coding challenges to see that they're learning. At the end, we do the mock interview, which is the final assessment, the final one where we make sure that you are at the level to apply for the jobs. Every week, we have our review classes. We give quizzes, and also we have mentor sessions with people that are experienced in this field, and all of these things will be done during the bootcamp step by step. So when we're done with the bootcamp, guys, so this was all during the bootcamp. When we're done with the bootcamp, guys, at the end, we're going to do the mock interview to make sure that you are ready for the market, to make sure that you are ready to apply for the jobs. We're going to help you after you get our green light, guys. Then we're going to help you, right? We have the classes of building the resume to make sure that you're creating your resume, and we're going to, let's say, polish your resume to make sure that you're going to get more attention from the recruiters. We have classes how to apply for jobs, how to enhance your soft skills, how you're going to talk in the interviews, how you're going to talk even in the companies after you find the job. We're going to give you market knowledge, like when is the best time to apply, how to apply, and what are the let's say the websites where you can apply for jobs. We have the mentoring session even after the bootcamp. When you, for example, sometimes some of the companies, they're asking, some of the recruiters, they're asking you questions, or they're asking you to provide your green card information. Are you supposed to give those information? So we have our job placement team, which will help also with your questions. Then, so I have a quick question here. I just wanted to answer because it just takes my attention here. So it says he found the job in April. He found the job in April 2024. So Emre, he started, I guess, in around September of last year. And not September. I'm sorry. On May of last year, he started the bootcamp. The bootcamp ended in December, and he found the job on April 2024. Okay, that is the time that he found the job. Okay, so let me continue with the presentation. So we have our alumni network, people like Emre and a lot of students who have already found the job, and then sometimes they have an openings in their company. They can suggest and can refer somebody, and also how to negotiate the salary. This is one of the things that sometimes a company, they can come and say, okay, you know this, you have these skills, we can give you a salary of 70,000 a year. Is this a good salary or not? Or $45 an hour. So what does a $45 an hour? It means 90 a year. So which one is better and stuff like that. So generally speaking, guys, if you do a research, the salary for software development engineering test, or as you call it, as that, is around 100,000 plus minus, depending on the company, depending on the state. So you can, this is the current information from Glassdoor, but you can also look and research also in other places. So let me share with you some of the offer letters that our students have received. So for example, in July, a student got an offer, so we have hidden their information. We don't want to expose the information, but for example, he got a salary and the pay was $100,000 annually, and of course there will be a required background check and all this information, all these things, and we help our students with this part. Another offer here is, and is expected to start on August 1st, right? It was like a month ago. So the salary here is 99 a year. Let me get another offer. So these are some samples of the offers that our students, they got like recently. Another one, the salary was 95, or they say it's bi-weekly 3,654, something like that. So these are real offers that our students got and shared with us, guys, because also, as we said, we also have helped them with the part of, after they get an offer, we help also with that part of them. So another one, this one is 90, is a little bit lower than the other ones. And then it says that you're going to receive this much PDO, meaning how many days you're going to have a vacation and stuff like that. But of course, if this company provides you the life insurance, 401k, and different things. Another offer, which was in June. What is the salary here? It's 115. Oh, so this one was higher. So as we said, right, sometimes some students, they get a higher offer, sometimes a lower one, depending on the state, depending on the company, and also depends on how much the student is prepared during the boot camp. And we have different, right? So another one in May, which was exactly 100,000 and stuff like that. So these are some offers from our students, and our students are working in different companies. These are some of the companies that our alumni are working at. And then if you do the boot camp, and maybe if you work in another company, your company also will be added to our list of the companies that our alumni are working. And as I said, like we have let's say tens or hundreds of students who have graduated, and most of them were able to find a job. So I'm going to invite back Eric. Let me stop sharing, and let me invite back Eric for the last part when he's going to explain about the pricing and everything.
All right. Thanks, Elian.
Okay. Thank you, Eric.
All right. And just to confirm, folks, if you could just let me know in the chat if you're seeing my screen where it says average cost of IT education. Just let me know by just indicating Y in the chat for yes. Appreciate that. Okay, so let me ask everyone a question. Do you know anyone? We were talking about this a little bit earlier, but do you know anyone who actually went to school? They spent all this money. You can see the numbers up there on the screen, where nowadays it's costing on average $36,000 a year for a 4-year degree. But do you know of anybody who went to college for 4 years and maybe even grad school on top of that, and they aren't even working in that field? I have family who did that. So when you look at private school education, private universities, sure, you can get grants, you can get scholarships, but let's say you don't. Let's say the scholarship or the grant doesn't cover everything. There are private universities out there that, and some of you know this, where the tuition is 40 plus, 50, 60, 70, $80,000 a year. It's insane, sometimes even more than that. And so over the course of just 4 years for an undergrad, people can wind up being potentially, 6 figures in debt. And they wind up paying this for many, many years. And on top of that, do they even help you get a job? And that's what really makes us different, as what Elian was mentioning to you just a moment ago, because they aren't incentivized. So if you spend all this money going to Georgetown, and that's the area where I'm originally from, Washington, D.C. area. If you spend all this money to go there, I'm not saying it's a bad school, but they have no incentive to help you find a job. And that's where this comes into play, our boot camp. You see, the average boot camp is over $13,000. Now, that's unattainable for a lot of people. So here's what we've done. We actually have put together something that is very creative to help people get started, to help people just like you get started. So here's how this works. Our regular tuition is $52.49. So here's how our creative way works to get everyone who's on our webinar tonight involved. Okay, so $52.49, that's our regular tuition. So we have a discount that we're doing for tonight only for $250 off, and that's going to bring the tuition down to $49.99. But here's the thing, it's not all at once. We actually will accept that in 7 monthly installments of $714. Now, I mentioned to you a moment ago that the average boot camp is well over $13,000, and a lot of people can't afford that. That's understandable. And most boot camps, which are out there, they'll make you pay everything up front, and then they'll fill the boot camp with a bunch of fluff. It winds up being stuff that you don't really need, just so they can say that we have a 6-month boot camp or a 9-month boot camp or whatever. Ours is everything that you need to know to get started, to get your career, to kickstart your career. So here's what we do. Rather than you paying this $13,000+, what we do is we help you find a job. We'll do the best to help you. We'll help you with your resume. And once you land that first job, we get 85% of your first month's salary, only after you find a job. So that's how you come up with the balance of that boot camp cost. The average boot camp cost is over $13,000. You're not paying this up front. So here's my point. Most companies, most schools, you're on the opposite side of the table. With us, we're on the same side of the table with you, because now we're incentivized to help you land that first job. Does that make sense? So again, would you agree that it's in our best interest to not just train you, but also help you land that first job as well? Now, we add even more discounts to it, because when you're referred to our school by a Neotech student or alumni, there's an extra discount. Just let us know about that when you reach out to us, and I'll show you how you can reach out to us in just a minute, all right? We also give you group discounts. So if you sign up with a group of 2, each student gets $150 off. Groups of 3, each gets $200 off. If it's going to be 4 or more, let us know, and we'll talk to you about how much you can get off, each of you, for that as well. We encourage people to sign up in groups, because when you sign up together, it's kind of like going to the gym, with a friend. They can help motivate you, hey, get that extra rep in, like they would tell you in the gym. Except in this situation, you have someone who can help you with homework, help solve problems together, motivate each other, like I was saying, and maybe even refer job opportunities to each other. Now, what if you change my mind? Oh, what if I change my mind? No deposit, no application fee, not a big deal, because here's the thing. We're the ones taking the risk here. You're not taking any risk. We're taking all the risk. You don't pay anything until the boot camp actually begins. You can cancel for free anytime until the boot camp starts on September 15. And then we give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. 100% refund if you decide to leave, no questions asked, anytime until October 15. Money-back guarantee in writing. Again, we're taking all the risk here. It's in our best interest to help you land that first job. So we're going to give you experience on real projects. You can put that experience on your resume. We'll help you out with the resume. We don't leave, as I told you at the beginning, any stone unturned here. We need to make you successful because it helps us out. We need the good reviews. So we want you to go take the boot camp, land that first job, just like you heard from Emre earlier. So we get that great review, and we keep growing and growing and growing. So it's in our best interest to ensure that you are successful. Here are some ways to reach out to us. You see that on the screen there, neotechacademy.com/bootcamp. You can also book a call with our admissions team. neotech.live/call. And if you're not ready to call, just simply submit your interest via neotechacademy.com/apply. Also, you can call us directly, 929-566-3919. We give you many different ways to reach out to us. When this session is done, you can also reach out to us via email at team@neotechacademy.com, team@neotechacademy.com. So I encourage you, schedule a call. We get pretty high volume. I know we have a small group tonight, but schedule a call as soon as possible. I'm looking up here again at my calendar. Class is starting in less than 1 week. So don't procrastinate. A lot of times people put things off that they know that they should do. I always like to tell this joke of my friend here who told me for years he was going to read War and Peace. And I used to follow up with him and ask, so what chapter are you on with War and Peace? And he would say, I'm still on chapter 1. I think he's still on chapter 1, after all these years. So don't put it off. Think about where your life could be. Think about where you are right now and where your life could be 6+ months from now. Once you've got the knowledge and that hands-on experience, nobody can take it away from you. You'll have a skill set that you'll have the rest of your life. And it's in our best interest to help you land that first job, that first potentially high-paying job. Now, let's do a comparison. If you go out there yourself and you're self-taught, in other words, how long would it take you to learn the things that we're going to teach you? Well, who knows? Because again, people procrastinate. People put things off. Neotech Academy, that's us. 6 months. University could be 4 years or more. Online courses are self-paced. Who knows how long that could be as well. Well, if you're self-taught, who's going to teach you? Well, you're learning by yourself. You are your own industry expert, which means it's kind of like the blind leading the blind there, if you think about it. With us, it's hands-on and live with real teachers, people like Elian who are out there doing it right now in the real world, teaching you very practical, look down here, look, here's the content, market-driven type of content. You go to university, it's not very interactive a lot of times because the class sizes. Is the university professor going to be an industry expert? Not necessarily. I remember taking business classes in college many years ago, and I don't think any of my professors had ever started a business before or really done anything business related other than learning things from a theoretical point of view. With us, it's not theoretical, it's all market driven. We also offer one-on-one mentorship and nearly 24/7 technical support. These are things that you're not going to get doing it yourself. For the most part, not with online courses, and for the most part as well, not in a university type of setting, because it's just too many students for that one professor. So why Neotech Academy? Well, I hope you've seen this tonight, folks. We're very passionate about what it is that we do, and we really want you to succeed. Again, we're on the same side of the table. It's in our best interest, as I keep saying, to help you succeed. The program is tested, it's proven, it's hands-on. If you miss a session because you're busy, don't worry about that. It's recorded. You can watch the recordings whenever you wish. So guys, I want to bring on Elian one more time, and we're going to wrap up with our final Q&A here. If you guys have any final questions, I have so many screens here. My chat is way over here on like screen number 6.
Okay.
So let me
Eric,
drag that over.
Definitely. If you can stop sharing so I can share my screen and I can go over the questions. So thank you. So I know that there was a question about the pricing. So as Eric mentioned, I'm going to move myself this side. So the tuition is $5,249. And then as of today, we have a discount of $250. And by the way, guys, if you have registered earlier, you keep your price, whatever your price was, but this is the latest discount as of today. So the price goes down to $4,999, and this can be done with installments. So every month, guys, you pay $700 during the 6 months of the boot camp. So for seven installments, you pay $714 per month. So this is during the tuition, during the boot camp. The second part, guys, is 85% of the first month's salary is only after you find the job. It's not if you find the job, it's when you find the job. So as Emre and a lot of our other alumni, when they find a job, right, we request from them after they start working for a month, and we let them to settle down and everything goes fine. And then we request from them 85% of the first monthly salary. So if their salary is 100,000 a year, so around 8,000 something a month, and then 85% of that. And that one also will be paid with installments. So you don't pay the first month and then you have nothing for yourself. Of course, that also can be done with 4 monthly installments. So instead of making you paying 12,000, 13,000, 15,000 upfront, which is too much for a person, we say you pay only the first part, only the let's say 4,999 during the bootcamp, and then only after you find the job you pay the second part, which is and of course we take the risk here because we believe, right? We believe that our students, if they take it seriously, they're going to be able to find the job at the end. And also, right, these are also other discounts. So if you are referred by a Neotech student, if you know somebody, you get an extra $200 discount. Or if you are a group of 2 or 3 people, right? So if you have other person, it's a win-win situation. So they get a discount, you get a discount. And also, right, and also it's a good thing because you work together with a friend. So if somebody falls behind, and the other friend will help each other. So that is a good thing about being a group. Okay, so that was about pricing. As I said, all these discounts go towards the tuition. So if you're, right, if it's 4,999, if you are with a friend of yours, it goes even more down. And make sure that, right, make sure that you are writing the name of your friend, making sure that when you talk to our specialists, you mention those discounts. Okay. Another question here is, what is the schedule in December? So you're talking about the Christmas and New Year vacation. So guys, during the bootcamp, in Thanksgiving, in Christmas, in New Year, Eid, all these vacations, we of course we celebrate them. So we have a 1 day off depending on the vacation. So we cannot give the full December off because then our bootcamp will be 7-8 months. So during the Christmas, we have a couple of days for Christmas and a couple of days for New Year's Eve. Okay, so that is the schedule, and of course you're going to see the schedule when the bootcamp starts. So by the way, so again, another question about diploma. I get this question a lot, and I know that, right, guys, we are clear, we're upfront with you. So Emre was invited today. He had a bachelor degree. It's okay. But 97% of our students, they don't have a bachelor. They don't have a computer science degree. If you go to the videos of our other info sessions, you'll see different students which don't have a bachelor degree in computer science, not having a diploma at all. So as I said, most of the companies, they don't care about your diploma, even if you're in a different field, even if you don't have it at all, as long as you have those skills. And the bootcamp is done in a way so that during these 6 months, you are learning those skills that are needed as a software tester. And the companies, I can say 80% of the times or 90% of the times, they don't care about your diploma. They don't care if you have a bachelor degree in computer science or not, even if you don't have a degree at all. But of course, this depends on the company. I have seen sometimes some companies, they say, we want you to have a bachelor degree. We want you to have a computer science degree. It depends on the company, but most of the times they don't care about your diploma. They care about your skills. That's why they interview you. But if you say in the interview that I have a diploma, then you have to make sure that you have it. If you say that you don't have a diploma, generally don't ask there, then they wouldn't ask at the end. So that is my answer about the diploma, and especially without the background in IT. So as I said, go to our YouTube channel, just watch other info sessions, watch the other students that have been invited there, different people, different experience, different English levels. So that's why we invite our students, however they are, however they experiences, to share it with you. Any other questions? if you don't have any other questions, guys, this is also very important. So just, I want to repeat these things because I want to make sure that it's clarified, guys. Now if you do the application today, so go to our website, do the application today, then you're going to get the discount, mention your friends, mention your referral and everything, so you get the maximum of the discounts. You're not going to pay on anything until the bootcamp starts. On September 15th, guys, we get the first month, the first payment, let's say the first installment. You have 1 month to try it for yourself until October 15th, guys. If you like it, if you think it's doable, if you think it's not difficult, if you think it's for you, then we're going to ask this question to all the students 2 or 3 days before the October 15th. And you say, do you want to continue or do you want to drop off? Most of the students, they always continue because they like it and they think that they can learn and they prefer to continue. I can say that it's like 3 to 5% of the students that they cannot continue. They say, you know what, it was difficult, I don't think I can do. Maybe I remember Amanda, I think she tried one time. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I remember that name. So if you think that you don't want to do it, or if you think you don't want to do it at a later time, you just say, I want to drop off. You're going to be refunded 100%, and nobody will not continue to get your payments, but also you're going to refund your first payment. And it's up to you. Why do we do this one, guys? Because we want you to try it for yourself. We want you to see if you really can do it. Emre says you can do it. Somebody else says you can do it. Try it for yourself. Even if you're going to do it, I know that you're going to suggest to other people because you're going to like our program and you say, you know what, it's not for me, but I'm going to refer it to my friend. So that is in general, right, why we try to give this option of trying for a month. So go to our website, neotechacademy.com/apply, do your application. You're going to schedule a call. Make sure that you talk to our admission specialist, all the questions that are related to the whatever questions you have. And then they're going to send you a contract, sign the contract, start the bootcamp, and then you have a month for yourself to see if it's for you or not. Any other questions before I stop? I know I promised that we're going to finish at 10:15. It's already 10:20. So I hope that we covered all your questions. Even if you have extra questions, guys, schedule a call, talk to a specialist, and then you can clarify everything before you decide if you want to do it or not. Thank you for joining the session, guys. Have a good night. Hope to see you in class on September 15th. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.